Hello,
Dude.
everybody. We've got a lot of One Piece to cover, and we should do it quick because I'm keeping these boys from playing League of Legends 2, which
Hell
just,
yeah.
which just,
Dude, look at Garp being all handsome.
yeah, he was handsomer
He's
back in the
aight.
day.
Yeah, you know
So
what?
right now we're going to be covering the entire Great Terminal flashback and then the rest of Volume 60 after the Great Terminal. So this video is actually going to contain like 1.75 or 1.25 volumes of One Piece.
Man, the Dan could stand to be a little more handsome.
So this flashback starts us off with Garp dropping Luffy off at the Dawn and then Ace's rough start. So yeah, I mean, we get dropped off here. Ace is a little shit. That's one thing that I'm just gonna open off by saying.
Yeah, he's a little asshole.
Bless his death, but good lord, is he mean to poor little Luffy here
I know.
in this flashback?
I think you said it like if Luffy was in real danger of dying, I don't know if Ace would have saved him.
Yeah, like you get to these pages as the flashback is going where Luffy tries to follow Ace and he almost dies several times, and Ace just keeps going. And you could argue it's like, he knew Luffy was in danger. Luffy fell off a fucking bridge here, dude.
Yeah.
in the first time that they met, like this is the first time Luffy tried to follow him out. So yeah, I don't know. Thank God Luffy lives.
Yeah, right?
We get introduced to young Sabo here, who would be an important character of this.
Dude,
of this
what a
arc.
beast.
Sabo is quite the beast. I really like the little story they tell with him here.
Yeah.
Now, one cool thing about do you remember Ace's tattoo? It had his name, but it was misspelled. It was ASCE,
Yeah.
but the S was crossed out. And we thought that it was just like, oh, someone fucked up the tattoo. I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but I'm pretty sure like the fan interpretation is that the S is supposed to represent Sabo.
Dude, I am
There's
super down for that.
there's a cover art Willer that's a what if cover art if Sabo survived.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
I think we get to that in volume 60.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah, it's the one with like the gorilla in the background.
Yeah, and he's kicking it.
Yeah, what about that?
The tattoo, Ace's tattoo, it's actually spelt correctly. And Sabo isn't crossed out.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, that confirms it then. That's a big confirm.
Yeah.
The next relevant plot point is Luffy getting captured by Jesus. What is this? Blue Jam?
That's not Blue Jam, but he's of the Blue Jam Pirates.
Yeah.
Man, why isn't he just Bluebeard? That's what I want to know.
You can't just throw beards around, all right? That's not how this
Yeah.
works.
Those are sacred.
Dude.
So Blue Jam Pirates are the lamest looking fucking dudes in this entire series. They look like losers.
Yeah, I think even the early One Piece pirate crews were like cooler than these guys.
Oh yeah,
These guys exist to be losers.
Butchie and Sham are really cool compared to Blue Jam. Like they're all the same.
Yeah, they're epic.
Their captains are cool. But I mean,
yeah.
I mean, the Blue Jam pirate captain is also not that cool.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
But Luffy gets captured, and Ace and Sabo need to figure out what they're gonna do about the Luffy incident.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I will say the part that I think is relevant here is like how much of a little bro Luffy is here. 'Cause he gets beat to shit. Poor guy.
Luffy totally gets tortured. Like
as like
I don't know.
He's like 7 here or something. It's horrible.
I just I don't know. Like it never occurred to me in this story that we're gonna get the Luffy flashback. I just always assumed like we know what we need to know about Luffy, but we didn't. There's a fucking lot going on there.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that like how brave of a story is it to tell the flashback and the motivations of your main character halfway through. I think not only halfway through, we're talking halfway through a 1,200 chapter manga.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
after essentially like one of his primary motivations like dies and is basically lost the will to live.
God damn.
But I think that's also a really good moment of explaining like why this is affecting Luffy so much.
Yeah, because Luffy used to be alone. All he had was really Dodon and Ace and Sabo, and now Ace is dead, and Sabo's dead, and he's far away from Dodon, and it's you can tell why he doesn't why he cares about people so much, because in these times it was kind of all that he had going for him.
And if you think about it too, Garp just fucking left him.
Yeah,
like
Garp. We keep saying it. Garp was very irresponsible, just leaving Luffy with a bunch of bandits.
Yeah, for his own purposes and for Luffy's own like sanity, essentially.
Yeah.
How old was Kobe? Is Kobe like 12 at the start of the series?
Some shit like that.
I guess there's a big gap between 7 and 12. But he could have taken Luffy into the Marines if he wanted it so bad.
I think I always question why Garp does this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I had people open my door. So I always question why Garp does this. I feel like part of that we can go into later, but like it's definitely like it's a really interesting question. Like, why didn't Garp just enlist him into the military immediately or do something else? Instead, he hides him in the trees with Ace, and you kind of wonder, like, was this for Luffy's benefit or for Ace's benefit? You know?
Ooh.
It might be for Ace's benefit then.
Yeah.
But like, is Garp that in tune with Ace? Maybe.
Well, like, I think we discussed this off the podcast. I think maybe in a video that's coming out later. But like, Garp and Luffy, I think both share that sort of emotional resonance with people and understand who they are truly, rather than what they show off on the surface level.
I guess he can see that Dodon is not a bad person, so I suppose there's something there.
Yeah, so he could be like, Ace needs someone to be with him, like a kid his age, like actually be a friend, and I've got a child, so let's do that.
Hey, here's a child.
Yeah.
I'll set them up on a play date.
Basically, it's the most extreme version of that, except, become pirates. But yeah.
Yeah, and here's Luffy yelling that like he wants to be friends with Ace because he's got no one else, and now Ace. It's really good to put this where they put it. Like, it's very strategic and shows a lot of confidence on Oda's part. But
I got nobody else.
I ain't got nobody.
I got nobody.
It also is like super bittersweet because we know what happens to these fuckos later.
Yeah, I think that's why it's so good. Good cover here with Magellan and Hannibal fishing.
That was fun.
This is wholesome. I think the next like big part, like you get to start learning about the Goa Kingdom, so you get a breakdown of the Goa Kingdom. And I think like this flashback is not among my top 3 Straw Hat flashbacks, but the Goa Kingdom is definitely like the best setting of one of these Straw Hat flashbacks. It's kind of crazy that Fuchsia Village just gets to live, or Windmill Village just gets to chill here, while there's all this shit happening across the mountain.
That is my one big complaint about this, is that Windmill Village just so happens to be right outside of all this bullshit that's happening.
The super interesting bullshit that was not in chapter 1.
Yeah, it's like, this is it's kind of hard to say, like, maybe Oda just kind of threw it on there next to it to kind of have some connection, but it just seems strange that there's a whole.
It makes sense that sometimes a country is not going to take over a whole island, but I don't see that happening with the Goa. Like, the Goa Kingdom is such a materialistic country, they would have pushed the trash heap down into Windmill Village by now, like, logistically.
Yeah.
So it's pretty contrived that there's just like a little peaceful village down here.
Oh, it's the perfect little level 1 village that you could level up your Gum Gum Punch at.
Yeah, meanwhile, there's like this all plot happening here.
Legitimately, like, political strife.
This trash heap thing is really interesting. It's based off somewhere in Thailand, but like even crazier.
Yeah.
And like, man, these world nobles are disgusting.
Fuck these guys.
They're really bad. We're really gonna get to that as we go, but we do get some bonding moments now that Ace and Luffy and Sabo are actually forming their brotherhood. Um,
Something that's established earlier in these chapters that we didn't talk about, but like once again is Ace in the future is that Ace refuses to like run away from a fight.
yeah,
Um, which it's like, yeah, we know. We saw it and look where it got him.
quite the fatal flaw. It.
Yeah.
I mean, he also wouldn't run away from the Blackbeard thing, and look where that got him.
Right.
Yo, Smoker, he cool.
Smoker Hina and a cover page
I-
here.
Smoker, going on drunk dates. Smoker's like, I want to
Yeah.
get the fuck home.
We start getting introduced like the captain of the crew, which will become a more relevant character later. Or no, right now, Sabo has left at this point because his dad has forced him to leave. And
Right.
Luffy and Ace surprisingly don't storm in demanding for their friend back. They're talked down from it, and that's a decision they'll come to regret because they think Sabo's having a good time, but he's not. And they start working for this guy. What I think is interesting here is that like this is the only person Luffy's ever been subservient to. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Even if it's like a small
A
stint,
lame
like,
ass.
it's a lame ass, and they didn't work for him for long. In the future, the history books would be like, yeah, this dude was like the only boss of the future Pirate King. It's pretty neat.
So-
This whole thing with Sabo coming back and just like being like, yo, all of you people suck. Even worse than I thought. There's bribery going on. They meet fucking Stelly. Ooh, Stelly.
Ooh.
That's the adoptive brother of Sabo's family, who's just a total shit.
Yeah, fuck this guy.
Man, oh man. And we start learning about the imminent burning of the Great Terminal, which
Yeah.
is this like the most fucked up thing in One Piece so far? Because it might
It's
be.
pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Pretty the human slave trade is up there too, but this is like really they're gonna just burn a whole group of people.
The thing with the human slave, I guess I know. Yeah, it's in the same tier because notably they actually do fucking burn the trash heap, and a lot of these people get saved, but it's implied that a lot of them just died from this cleansing.
Yeah, there's no way they got everybody out.
I think like Great Terminal is so on the nose with its kind of like
Message and theming and
yeah, especially in the grander world of like One Piece, because you get the idea of like if this is what it's like on a small scale, like if you were to picture the Goa Kingdom as the entire world on a small scale,
yeah.
if this is what this kingdom is willing to go to for someone else above them, how does the rest of the world work?
Yeah, because they're just doing it to impress the world nobles, which is ironic
Yeah.
because the world nobles are the people who work for the world or like are above the world government who have the power to erase entire islands with buster calls. So
Yeah.
it's like this is just kind of what they do in a smaller, like more personal scale.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love how Sabo just can't believe that that like everyone is down with this, and
Yeah, like he tries to tell someone and they're just like, yeah,
so
okay.
aren't you that annoying kid that's not supposed to be here? Like, what are you talking
Jeez.
about? I also one thing I noticed here is that Sabo's dialogue is fairly sophisticated compared to Luffy and Ace's. It's really slight, but it was something I was noticing. I was like, of course, it should be because he's actually like raised up as a noble.
Yeah, because like Luffy was talking like a fucking bumpkin earlier. And,
Yeah.
I ain't got
Sabo-
nobody.
yeah, he talks like a real person.
Yeah, so that's a good way to show the gap in intelligence and just like the fact that Sabo's able to quote unquote stoop to their level and love them, I think is pretty fucking wholesome. Yeah, but the sheer disregard for human life here is just sickening.
Oh yeah.
We do learn as this flashback is going that Dragon was indeed born in the Goa Kingdom.
Yo.
And him and Iva are in, and Kuma actually we see a glimpse of, are actually in the island as this cleansing is happening, which is pretty interesting. Now, I think Dragon being born here is really cool. It's also interesting, we get this glimpse of Dragon. It's like the only time he's ever like looked nervous in the story. We don't get to see him very much.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's born here makes a lot of sense because this seems like the prime example in the East Blue of like the power inequality, and the whole structure of the island is like archaeologically created to create this class divide system with the trash heap and the fact that it keeps getting pushed out, and there's a whole culture within the trash people, which is a harsh name to call them.
It totally makes sense that a guy born here would be the guy who most wants to uproot this kind of system.
Yeah, so I really like that.
I think it's interesting too because it's like the world, its nobles itself, like would rather not deal with having to deal with the trash. Like they could clean it up, they could get it all fixed and regulated, but they'd rather not because that would require them to do something other than being high and mighty.
And they're in a time crunch. They got like a week to impress their celestial dragons.
But they're the ones that let it deteriorate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Afterwards, that they even say like it just happens again. They push all the trash out again, like and people come back. Well, it's just a cycle. Like they refuse to change how they operate things.
I feel like this was a very important moment for Dragon, despite us not knowing him very much, because he sees a world noble who is so disgusted at who he is, fundamentally because of like the people who are in his class, that he sees like some nuance in the world that maybe he hadn't seen before. That's kind of what I get from his dialogue and his look here.
Yeah.
It also gives him some hope, I would assume. Like it's like maybe those people above me can actually be changed and be human and make a difference.
And this is like the first aristocrat kind of character, not counting like I don't know if I would count Vivi and Cobra because their whole kingdom is like wholesome and like for the people. But this is the first person to come from a celestial dragon-esque background and have humanity. So I'm glad that Oda is introducing some nuance to these cartoonishly evil groups of characters, and I hope as we continue with the story we might see some more of that here and there.
Something I really like about how Oda draws these novels is that they're all ugly as fuck.
Yeah.
Like on the next page you have this little girl here asking about the trash and everything.
You're right. They should have just been born aristocrats. They're so stupid.
Idiots.
Baka. This is definitely a case of like over exaggeration.
Yeah.
That could run out of control, but Oda really knows how to like ground it with emotion to where you still care, despite the fact that it's like so over the top. And I think he finds that right balance where the over the topness ends up being good. I believe the next major section here is a little conflict with Blue Jam, which, as Joe is mentioning, is where Ace makes his like big stand. The Dawn finally like kind of takes charge here. I felt like this was a really good moment in this flashback because so far the Dawn's been kind of like she hasn't been as lovable as the other like flashback mentor characters, like, say a Tom.
But she's been very passive.
Yeah. She's been a very passive character, and like you could tell she was warming up to the kids, but here you get to see like she really has come to like love these kids, and they love her in their own way.
Like she doesn't fuck with them at the beginning, but by the very end of the flashback, she really, really cares about them.
Yeah.
She pulls the Joseph Joestar technique.
Yeah. But not really, because her and Ace soloed the boss. After this, there's Kuma. You can tell because he has ears.
Oh yeah.
There's Ivankov because the chin.
You can tell because it's a giant face.
So we also get a glimpse of Dragon's ship, which
looks
is
really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a black dragon. It might be called the Black Dragon.
Oh fuck.
And they do save some of the slum people, but some presumably die. And Ace and the Dawn come back later, and Sabo's like, "All right, I've had enough. Sorry, Ace and Luffy. I'm setting out on my adventure," and everything goes great. He escapes the system. He gets to grow up as a big boy.
No.
Sabo's ocean. Oof.
Dude.
Sabo's ocean grave.
Yeah, he just gets fucking sniped out by a celestial dragon ship for flying on the day of their entrance.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And Sabo's news are like this little guy who has a funny design comes back and delivers the news as Ace and the Dawn are coming back. The fact that Ace is carrying the Dawn here is pretty badass.
Hell yeah.
But let's see. I have some notes here. There is a little beat about like Roger would fight enemies to make sure that they couldn't go after his friends. And I
Yeah.
feel like Luffy has shown similar tendencies where like he will go to hell and earth to make sure that his friends are comfortable in his crew. So that's very
Yeah.
Pirate Kingly behavior of his.
I think there's a big difference here too. Is that like because it's also, but he's also talking about Ace. It's really kind of like because Ace does the same thing. Like he stays back and protects Luffy from being hit by Blue Jam.
Yeah.
But I think it opens up to more of like what's going to make Luffy a better Pirate King is that Luffy's going to have full faith and trust with his crew to handle themselves and help him when he needs them. You know?
Yeah, it's notable here that like Ace here says Luffy was behind me, so I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't go back on my word and not fight, which is exactly what happens when Ace dies against Akainu. Luffy's also behind him, and he blocks the hit. They get the news about Sabo. Dodon has to talk some sense into them. I really like Dodon's dialogue here. I remember it being really good. Like, your father died and changed the entire era. Become as big as a man as him before you even think about getting yourself killed.
Yeah.
And, Ace was on the way to getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
the whole world watching.
They read Sabo's little note. It's very sad.
Yeah.
Throughout this flashback, Ace keeps talking about how, like, a man shouldn't cry. And he cries at the end of the flashback here or near the end with Sabo's death. But notably, the second time we've seen Ace cry is in the arms of his brother as he's dying. So it's like,
dude,
a man doesn't cry, but you cried in two very prominent points of the series because you were just trying to act tough.
goddamn.
Yo,
boys.
Domino and Sadie eating food though in McDonald's.
Dude, you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Oh man.
McMarines.
I remember when Bradley thought that Domino's hair was green and he was appalled. I don't know why.
I saw that picture. I was like, "What the fuck?"
It was a different character.
Yeah, it was a made-up character to cuck Hannibal.
Luffy wants to be stronger, which is a classic.
Have a hat. Well, I guess he does have a hat, but later he doesn't have one in this flashback though.
He has a hat as he's like coming back. What's okay? This was a little interesting tidbit here. A little earlier, on the night after the ship of the Celestial Dragon sailed into the port, you see this little glimpse of Zoro and Kuina. And Dragon's ship is sailing by Zoro's island, right? And I'm like, I wonder if there's some significance to that. Like, why would they show specifically Zoro and Kuina in these little parts of the flashback to say that, indeed, like, Dragon landed on this island before going back to Baltigo Island, which is their main head base. So they went to, like, Goa Kingdom, then this island, then Baltigo. Like, did he pick someone up here? Is Kuina not Tashigi, but instead someone in the Revolutionary Army after her fall with the stairs? That's what I'm trying to pitch here. It's interesting.
Dragon is actually Zoro's father, and Luffy and Zoro are real brothers.
All right, yeah, sure, all right.
Yeah, okay.
The green hair came from somewhere, I'm sure.
It's he dyed it. He dyed it.
That's it every day.
Yeah.
He gets grass and rubs it in there.
Well, probably my favorite part of this flashback is after Sabo's death, where it's just Luffy and Ace being really wholesome.
Yeah.
Because like these are just consistently good. Because now Dodon like loves them. There's Ace and Luffy country, which is just the cutest fucking.
That was the coolest little kid thing. I loved it.
Just the cutest little fucking thing. There's this part where like they used to be able to fight these big animals when it was 3 of them, but now they're struggling that it's 2, so they gotta keep getting stronger. And 14-year-old Ace sits out, or no, this 17-year-old Ace. I quite like how this has a built-in mechanic to get Ace out before Luffy, where they all promised to leave at 17 after Sabo's death. So it's like, okay, Ace has a 3-year head start on Luffy, basically.
Yeah.
Um,
There's this moment that's happening where like they have to learn how to apologize, and they're talking to
Makino? Yeah, that
Yeah.
moment's really good. I'm glad you brought that up. I like how Ace is very shy around Makino. Like, he has like a little crush on her.
Yeah.
I like to think that Ace had a child with the Milk Girl from the cover story.
Yo.
Where he was like chasing down Blackbeard information, and he met that Milk Girl, and that
You just know, dude.
there might be a little Ace running around there somewhere. Oh, that'd be wholesome. Who knows?
Who knows?
And oh man, this page is fucking good. We start closing the flashback, seeing the things we saw in the first chapter of One Piece, which is always a good feeling to make that full circle. And I'm gonna be king of the pirates, and you flash back to Luffy laughing and crying at the mere thought of someone as weak as him being king of the pirates, and we're ripped back into reality.
What a good like juxtaposition here.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
It's a major stab in your heart because you're like, oh god, this is where we were.
I like Oda's progression in juxtaposition throughout the series, because you also have the Brook flashback where you're juxtaposing all these like sad moments with happy moments and partying and the past and his lost crew and his new crew, and it just keeps going back and forth, and it ends with Brook being so happy that he's alive after everything he's gone through. And here it ends with Luffy realizing that he's too weak to be the Pirate King, right?
Yeah.
One thing I missed, because I didn't catch the page it was on, but I did write in my notes. There is this section of the story where Luffy is... They're all talking about their dreams, and I think Sabo mentions that he was like interested in navigation or something. I might be making that up. But what's notable is like when Luffy goes to say what his dream is...
Oh yeah.
It cuts away, and Ace and Sabo look at him like, that's ridiculous of you to say. I think the first thing someone would think of, and I'm sure what Bradley thought, and you can confirm or deny, is that Luffy said, I'm gonna be king of the pirates. And then they're like, oh, that's a big dream. But if I feel like that's not what he said. And the reason, like, I might be drawing from future knowledge as well, but the reason why I would think that also right now is that later in the chapter, Luffy's talking about being king of the pirates without any, like, real, like, issue. It's not presented in a super special way. It's his usual, I'm going to be king of the pirates. He said it the whole series. So what did Luffy actually say when they cut away? It makes sense.
I just assumed he had said, I'm going to be king of the pirates.
Yeah. And I think I assumed that too back then, but rereading it, I'm like,
Same.
why would they make such a mysterious... I feel like he could have also said something like, I'm gonna be the freest man in the world or something.
Yeah.
And
or
maybe
everybody, or is this...
It could have been something else, like another motivation for Luffy, but we can't be sure necessarily. But maybe one day they'll flash back to this and like we'll see if it was anything important or if I'm just making shit up. But
I'm gonna make 100 friends.
No, that's Comey.
And they're like, that's impossible.
Luffy's definitely made 100 friends by now.
Probably.
There's a lot of characters in this bitch. We just did a tier list of all the people he's met so far.
Yeah,
right. So we get to Luffy and Jinbei section, and this this part's fucking flames. Oh man, this part's really good. So Luffy is just Omega depressed. I like how I love how Mihawk is also like maybe having some trouble with this Toko no Miya.
Yeah.
He's trying to play it cool, but he's like, you can just tell by his face.
Like, he's just like, fuck.
Oh, that's a really good one. Oh, man, before we do get to more Jinbei and Luffy stuff, I do love this confrontation between Dadan and Garp.
Yeah.
And she very rightfully calls Garp out. for like Soft allowing this to happen, and Makino's trying to defend him, but then like the Don keeps bringing up reasons why Garp should be feeling bad, and Makino's feeling bad, and like man, she does care about these kids and seeing where they're going. I'm sure like whenever she gets news of Luffy and Ace and the whole village, like the mayor and Makino, it must be a really big deal for them because like they really like it takes a village, right, to raise a child, and they really raised those two kids, and now one of them is fucking dead. So it's rough. I do think so. They're having the Whitebeard and Ace funeral here, and Shanks drops the "It's all right to cry, just overcome it" line.
Yeah.
Transitions us right into that very thing of like Luffy crying and lashing out. And look at this edgy teenager bullshit. It's my body. I'll do what I want with it. Like, he's so sad. I mean...
Yeah, Luffy yells at Jinbei, "You're not my dad!"
And, like, it's crazy because we've never seen Luffy do anything close to this.
Oh, yeah.
And he's fighting Jinbei, and Jinbei's like, even, you're injured right now. I'm going to kick your ass. And I really love... him fighting Luffy here and flashing back to Ace and thinking about what Ace was saying about his brother. And I also really like when, and I think this was in a previous chapter, when Jinbei's like, I don't promise to help your brother, Ace, but if I like him, I'll help him.
And guess what? He's helping him.
And here he is, like, way beyond the call of action. He's dealing with, like, the post... Like, not the combat that a pirate would help a pirate with. He's dealing with the emotional trauma.
Yeah.
And he starts giving him the harshest talk, man.
Yeah.
He's like, what happened to you? And a giant wall stands between you right now. And are you going to let it keep towering over you? Or are you going to remember what you still have? And I really like this metaphor of Luffy in this very circly cave as a metaphor for depression. That's not very it's not very One Piece, you know, but it's good.
It's a real one.
Not the imagery you usually see. And after he gives his harsh words to Luffy, Luffy starts counting his fingers, and he's like, I have 10 fingers. One for each of my friends.
Oh, fuck.
And then, like, maybe the best panel in One Piece. To me, it's a strong contender.
It's pretty up there.
I have my crew. Yes.
Yeah.
Luffy, you still have people you can rely on.
And man, it's just so... I just love this cast of characters because, you know, obviously, you know, Zoro, Sanji, and Usopp are up there, maybe, because I think it's showing them in order. But they're all here. Even Brooks, who has barely been with them, is part of who Luffy thinks of. These are his family.
Once a crewmate, always a crewmate, man.
Right.
Yeah, it is totally in order because it wraps around to Sanji here. I mean, that's also really interesting because Oda counts Nami as like the 5th Straw Hat. But in Luffy, this is kind of really subtle. In Luffy's mind, Nami's 3rd because that's when he met her, and that was it.
Yeah,
he didn't,
whenever he met... When he met her, she was in the crew and she never left.
He didn't fucking care about that Arlong shenanigan. That was water off the rubber boy's back, you know, like.
Yeah. You're my navigator. You're mine. Come on, let's go.
So that's just another thing that makes that spread so cool.
Oh man, yeah, really, really good spread, and he's crying out for their names. I have my crew. And he starts crying, I want to see them. He misses... Like, what good build-up here. You remember when Luffy got sent to Amazon Lily? And he's like, man, I wish Sanji was here. He'd know how to make this into food. Or, like, if Frankie was here, he'd build, the bridge or something to get me across this bridge. Or this, like, ravine or something. And, like, his friends were always on his mind. And he was the loneliest he's been in a long time. But he kept up a strong face. And now Will Baby just wants to go see his friends again.
I think that's really interesting because if you think about like this kind of like whole Paramore war, this saga starts like at Amazon Lily almost. It starts in Sabaody, but like him being separated starts in Amazon Lily, and like he's all he's thinking about is his crew. It's like I want to see him. I
And
miss him.
Ace,
I want
yeah.
an Ace. But he really doesn't start thinking about Ace until he's told like, oh, Ace is going to get executed.
Yeah.
And then we get back to here at Amazon Lily, where this whole kind of like adventure to go save Ace begins. And like Ace is the only thing in his mind, and he just forgets all about his crew. But it's his crew that brings him back and makes him reaffirm his life, essentially.
And I mean, Bradley said in our tier list talk, he went on this spiel of like why Luffy's the ultimate like shonen protagonist. And I feel like this feeds into it because I think I dropped the line. It's like the story so far has been 590 chapters of breaking Luffy, only for in these like 3 pages for us to realize he is truly unbreakable because he has his crew, and because of that, he can never stop. He always has a home to go to.
Rubber always bounces back, baby.
Is, what's it called? Nakama? Is that what it is?
His Nakama.
Yeah.
Be a shame if something happened to them.
Shit.
I believe this takes us into...
Y'all, it's gonna be so sad if Brook does. Oh wait, he's already dead.
Rayleigh shows up. He just swam across the calm belt. So like, fucking Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right.
What is even world building when you have these Chads walking around?
Fucking
Look how big
shit.
this boy is. Like Jesus, he's like 80 years old.
Dude, he's fucking swole, right?
Now that's daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rayleigh shows up. Oh, I love how Jinbei's piggybacking with Luffy here. I brought it up in our tier list talk for why Jinbei's so good, but when Luffy's at his lowest, no one else is there for him for the emotional trauma, like the lowest Luffy's ever been. But Jinbei is. That's a fucking homeboy right there. And you cannot discount that. That is a bond that Luffy doesn't share with anyone else on the planet. So I think that's pretty
What
good.
a guy.
And speaking of unique bonds, Rayleigh and Luffy start forming a really unique bond here as well.
Yeah.
As like Rayleigh starts becoming Luffy's mentor, and we start getting a flash to where all the Straw Hats are. Which one are some of y'all's favorites here? Because I think my favorites are Frankie and Zoro's, as far as like where they ended up and what they're up to.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's got like Zoro's. That is just so fucking cool.
It's on record that I'm not a Zoro boy, but man, when I saw that Zoro was going to be with Mihawk, I was hyped as fuck.
Because what I was telling Willard is like I always assumed the next time Mihawk and Zoro fought each other, that was going to be their big legendary duel, and we're just going to see who the best swordsman is. But like Zoro gets trained by fucking Mihawk.
Yeah, it's a ringing bell situation where it's like, I will train you to kill me.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
I have a theory about this whole training session that will piss a ton of people off.
Oh shit!
But I don't think it's even close to being true.
Is it good to share now? I want to hear.
Oh, I think so. It's basically that Zoro and Mihawk have already had their showdown.
Ooh.
That'd be cool.
So when they meet again, they're not going to have it. It's going to be like a flashback chapter to that showdown.
Okay, hold on. We
we
need to start paying attention to Zoro's dialogue then, because if he drops even a single "I can't lose here until I'm the strongest swordsman," then you're wrong.
Yeah,
because he's already the strongest swordsman.
Unless there's someone else, or like there's some fucking Gollum in One Piece land.
What are you talking about? You think there's someone who took Mihawk's throne with like in a flash, like in a time skip?
like 0% chance.
This is like a 1% theory. This is more like this would be really funny if Oda did this kind of deal.
Oh, I think that's kind of badass in a certain way, except like except I'm
like,
pretty sure. I'll keep as soon as I see it, I'll point it out. But if we pay attention to it, a single dialogue is going to be able to break this theory down.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I agree. But I just think it'd be funny. It's like, oh, I already fought him and I won. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna keep drinking.
Jesus, how badass is that? That Zoro's like the strongest. Like if he beat Mihawk, who spars with Shanks, then Zoro's the strongest like Straw Hat now.
Yeah.
I do like the island Usopp is in. I think Nami's relationship with the little weather guy is really wholesome. Like, they're really cute together.
Yeah, it's funny because she keeps doing terrible things to them, and then they'll yell at her, and she'll twist it around so they end up apologizing to her.
It's so manipulative, but it's pretty
It's
cute.
really manipulative.
Uh,
I really like Brooks, and like he's the cult leader, and he gets kidnapped by these.
Yeah.
Brooks fucking goes places.
Dude, I
Yeah.
love it because like he gets captured in that cage and he's like, well, fuck it. Guess I'll just play some music for the next 2 years. Let's go.
Yeah.
And he becomes a world sensation.
The Soul King Brook.
But Frankie's is my favorite because we get Vegapunk lore. What the fan base?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We always have room for some pud, and the pud is Vegapunk lore.
Dude, fucking, it was so funny because he saw the self-destruct button and he's like, oh, a pirate symbol. I'm supposed to press it because I'm a pirate.
This
It's so
event
good.
will be remembered
idiot.
whenever people speak of the nightmare of Baltimore.
Yeah, and then he has his little thumbs up down there. Like, if I pressed it, would it be my fault? Oh, God, it's so good.
I forgot exactly what the deal with the island is, but as I recall, like, it was frozen over, and Vegapunk was partway through, like, a solution.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
God, it was something to do with the
Yeah, it
animal.
was a geothermal system for heating the entire island, and he was partway through. And Frankie blew that up and found an even more secret lab with human experiments and robots and shit, but we'll get to that later.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Brooke is captured by these long arm boys. And that's training, I guess, for him.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it sets them all up to a point of escape, except for Brooke, who is even more captured.
Yeah.
Who's this with
now-
the Aokiji again?
That's Surugu. That's the laundry lady.
Suru.
Oh,
Sure.
right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And Robin meets Dragon. Now,
That's crazy.
this is
Yeah.
crazy because she spent 2 years with Dragon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll wait to talk about it at the end of Fishman Island.
I guess
Yeah.
so.
But there should be a conversation that Robin is having with Luffy immediately. And spoiler alert, it kind of doesn't happen, or if it has happened, it was off screen.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of bullshit that they wouldn't have a conversation about, hey, Luffy, I met your father, and some shit went down, and you should probably know this.
Yeah, like if I was one of the Straw Hats, the first thing I would do is ask everybody, like, hey, where the fuck were you for 2 years?
Now, there is
Yeah.
a panel where Luffy's like, hey, Zoro, where did you end up? And he's like, well, and then, like, they talk about it, off screen.
Man.
So then we also see Sanji. Sanji has a great gag here where they're going through the fucking wand posters.
Yeah, and Ivankovich's like, this is not you. Don't lie
Yeah, no, Ivankov keeps going like, is this you? And he's like, okay, yeah, fine, it's me. But he's like, but it doesn't look like you. I don't know. It's just funny.
And he's like throwing up blood. He's like, don't make me say it looks like me. So they all see the news, and the news are that essentially
Not 3 days.
Luffy has returned to the site of the shenanigans, and he
Yeah.
did some cryptic shit. Bradley, what did you think what was going on in your head as this was happening?
Initially, my read of it was like exactly what they were saying, where like,
It
you
was
know,
a-
he was ringing their bell that they usually ring for the new year as a way to signal a new era, and I just kind of took it at face value, like, sure, I guess that's it. But then, you know, all the Straw Hats kept going on about how like this is a secret message, so I was like, I mean, I guess there's got to be something going on here they'll explain.
It's pretty cool how it's something only the Straw Hats know.
Yeah, because I was really confused. I was like, how the fuck would this be something only the Straw Hats would get? And then after we get the reveal, I was like, wow, yeah, only they would get it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Sengoku also around this part of the volume drops out of the Marines.
Yeah.
They keep him on as a recruiter because it's too much to lose both Garp and Sengoku after the war, but he's done with the hard job, and he recommends Aokichi. Now, we have read the next 2 volumes as well. We have not yet seen Admiral or Supreme Admiral Aokiji yet. Not Sabo. What the fuck is his kid's name? Kobe
Kobe.
Kobe.
has hockey now confirmed.
Yes, he straight up has it.
Smoker's going to the Grand Line. Brand New's forehead is as shiny as ever. The supernovas are rampaging the new world. This one's the weirdest. This one's the fucking weirdest one. A fucking like. It looks like it's out of the movie Washiki, where it's like this floating island, kind of just sucks up the Capone pirates. But
It looks like the coronavirus.
I suppose so. Rogue ends up in an island that's just lightning all the time. It's a good time for everyone.
Yeah, that island was fucking crazy, and that's the point where they do the line about like this is why they call the part of the Grand Line before the New World paradise, because these islands are fucking horrific sometimes.
And it's kind of funny because we remember in Baratier, they're like, holy shit, the Grand Line is so real, dude. You're not going to survive there. Straw Hat. Zeph has a logbook. It's like the rarest shit. And then that's paradise, by the way. That ain't for bitches. I particularly like this Robin, so I wanted to point it out for Joe. That's a good Robin.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I know. Yay, Law, Drake, Teach.
Yeah, we get to see all our boys again.
Yeah.
Teach has captured Bonnie, but Akainu shows up. Now, Akainu here says something really interesting. A cold shiver ran through me when I heard you'd run away from the government, but it's all over now. What is the special significance where like Bonnie being free is something that terrifies extremist Akainu? That has to mean there's more to Bonnie than meets the eye, clearly.
So I have a small theory, but I can't talk about it now. But I'll do it later. Okay. But I think I know Bonnie has a history, but
I think Bonnie has a history. The craziest thing, Joe, is who Doflamingo is talking to here.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I only noticed this on rereading.
Who is he talking to? What is this?
Well, we don't get to see yet, but I mean, Joe should be able to know. And what Doflamingo said is that someone higher up ordered Moria's death. Like Moria was like, "Hey, was this Sengoku?" And he's like, "Someone higher up." And this must be related to that higher up, but we don't really get to see now. We do know it's world government associated. Though.
Yeah, it's a person in a white suit or wears all white, correct? If I'm thinking the right person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chopper.
Who should be in that position, but okay.
I mean, it could be someone else, but they dress similar.
Yeah.
So we do get these little flashbacks of like what Luffy means to every Straw Hat, and I think it's just really wholesome that like they love Luffy so much. They don't really talk about it when they're together, but when they're alone, and that's kind of a criticism I have with the Straw Hats. I feel like when they're together, they're not as personable as I would like them to be. But that's because I come from a Haikyuu background where the character dialogue and interactions are S tier, and we're dealing with only an S- here. so I digress.
Yeah. I really liked how like every character we get a flashback to where they like cemented their friendship with Luffy, basically.
Yeah, it's really good. Sanji and his ever problematic stint at the Okama Islands is always a scenario. Joe, you're super right. Oh, that's so good that the ace on ace is spelled correctly with this in this what if. That's really cool.
Something I like about the Sanji thing is that they talk about how he doesn't fight them; he has to steal them, so he has to do more of a thievery role. And so Sanji is kind of like subclassing into rogue now in terms of.
I mean, I wish this meant that he would learn Okama karate. That would be the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that would have been fucking rad.
And then like he doesn't pull it out because it's embarrassing for him. But I don't think that happened. It's too late now, Joe. Oda's just dropping balls. The story is too much for him to handle now. This one with Luffy and Nami is particularly good because you know that's the moment for her.
Oh man,
where everything
I
changed.
love her.
Wait, does Brook not have one? Oh, Brook
No,
just
yeah,
has,
he does.
Brook just has when he straight up meets Luffy. He just has like one little panel.
Yeah.
Fair enough. You just got here. This 40-degree gag is very good. Bradley and I were
Yeah.
talking about it in the car.
Yeah, because he's like, oh my god, I need to train. And then he's like, let's try 40 degrees. And then he's like, wait, there's probably a better way to train.
Uh,
Bone to be wild.
and
Yeah.
fucking Frankie is just so fucking funny throughout this little section here with his face blown off and like, dude, don't look at us. It's too scary. I do like how Usopp says like, I always thought Luffy would just casually do it, but now I realize like he actually needs me.
Yeah.
And they all get on with their training. I believe the next chapter covers what
Not
the
3
message
days.
actually was, and
2
Zoro explains that yeah, it's not 3 days. We'll meet up in 2 years, and so the time skip is established.
Hey.
I really like the title, not 3 days, but 2 years, and how it's written. I just think that's really, really cool. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, 3D2Y. It's
Yeah.
funny because while Totally Not Mark was uploading his videos, there's one point where he took a break after the time skip, and he was like, I'll upload in 2 weeks, and then his like fan base was like 7 days crossed out 2W, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
That's cool.
So they're all gonna train, and Luffy's gonna train with Rayleigh himself, and we get the hockey primer. I'm sure Bradley's been excited to find out what the fuck this hockey thing really
Yeah,
is.
it was cool to get our tutorial.
Yeah.
So we established that there's 3 colors of hockey here, or categories. You got armament, observation, and Supreme King or Conqueror. What's really cool is that Luffy relates these techniques to people that he's already seen.
Yeah, man, I had been saying, I was like, God, Mantra feels so similar to hockey. And we straight up get confirmation. He's like, yeah, the people in Skypiea call it hockey.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah,
by the way, Willard brought up that, you know, Rayleigh would have been in Skypiea at some point.
Yeah, because Roger's crew was up there as well, so it's cool that he would use that example in particular. It's not just like it makes complete sense that he would know that one. And of course, we've seen Luffy do Conquer Hockey before, and Rayleigh explains that like this is the culmination of your willpower, and to train it, you just have to become a stronger person. And I have a feeling he means that physically and metaphorically.
Yeah.
And so he sets down this hat, and One Piece goes on a 2-week break for our weekly readers, and we
I
lose.
thought it was a 4 week. If he was gone for a whole month.
Sorry, yeah, One Piece stops
Yeah.
being published for 4 weeks as Oda takes a vacation, and
People
we'll
are probably
freak
just
out.
like, what the fuck?
The volume gets to see all these time skip designs that
Dude.
each Straw Hat has a better design than what they got. I'm just gonna say it. For example,
Yeah, dude, every single one of them. Some of these designs, I was like, they look so fucking cool.
Mihawk Zoro here is better than the Zoro we got.
Mihawk Zoro's badass. I like Chopper
this-
with his little knight helmet.
I like this Nami here.
Yeah, that's like a messy Nami.
Actually, I'll say
dude.
the chopper we got is the best. I'll say that. But these like fucking Sniper King Usopps are pretty hot.
Yeah.
I like.
He
this-
looks too much like Von Ogre. I think he was trying to avoid that though when he was redrawing him.
Usopp. They all wear different outfits. Like the next arc.
I
so
like
it's
him. I like him with a crowd though. That's kind of.
I wish we got Helmet Chopper. I like him.
He had a crowd.
Yo, this SBS artwork is flames.
Yeah, some of these, dude, like that.
That Century.
That Century is fucking great.
Does this finish this volume? I believe it might.
There's a distinct
No, it's halfway through 61.
possibility.
Wait, we're still halfway in the volume.
We're halfway in 61.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Well, what are you guys still doing here? Commenters, you didn't tell us we were going over.
I'm sure they're fine with it.
You fuckers. All right, we'll stop here. I hope y'all enjoyed. Join us next time as we cover the remainder of 61.
Yeah.
Bye.